After nearly 2 decades of development, political struggles, and engineering challenges, Turkey is finally preparing to field the Altay main battle tank, the first truly indigenous armored platform in its modern history. This moment is more than the rollout of a new weapons system. It represents a turning point for the Turkish defense industry, a statement of independence from foreign suppliers, and a reflection of Ankar's determination to equip its armed forces with cutting-edge systems tailored for the country's unique security environment. The Altay, often described as the most ambitious land warfare project Turkey has ever undertaken, is now moving from promise to reality as serial production edges closer and the first units prepare for entry into service. The origins of the Altay stretch back to the early 2000s, when Turkish policymakers recognized that the country's armored fleet, made up of aging American M48 and M60 Patton tanks, alongside German Leopard 1s and Leopard 2A4s, was increasingly outdated in the face of modern threats. These imported tanks, though once formidable, were designed for Cold War battlefields and were not optimized for Turkey's emerging operational challenges, which ranged from conventional deterrence along its borders with Syria and Armenia to counterinsurgency and hybrid warfare environments in the country's southeast. At the same time, Turkey's relationships with Western suppliers were becoming more strained, with export restrictions and political disputes sometimes blocking the timely delivery of spare parts or upgrades. For Turkish decision-makers, the dependence on foreign tanks was more than a logistical issue. It was a strategic vulnerability. Out of this realization grew the vision of the Altay, a main battle tank that would not only equip the Turkish land forces with modern firepower and survivability but also stand as a symbol of national self-sufficiency. The Altay project was officially launched in 2007, with Otokar, a Turkish defense firm, contracted for the design and prototype stages. In its early years, the program benefited from technological cooperation with South Korea, whose Hyundai Rotem engineers had recently developed the K2 Black Panther tank. This partnership provided a strong starting point, as the Altay inherited aspects of the K2's design philosophy while being customized to Turkey's needs. The first Altay prototypes were unveiled in 2012, showcasing a modern, sleek design that raised public and military expectations of rapid progress. Yet the road from prototype to production proved far longer and more complicated than anyone anticipated. The primary challenge came in the form of power packs, the engines and transmissions that are the beating heart of any armored vehicle. Early Altay models used German MTU engines and Ariane K transmissions, but as political tensions rose between Berlin and Ankara, Germany blocked further exports of these critical components. This embargo brought the program to a standstill and highlighted precisely the kind of vulnerability the Altay was meant to overcome. Ankara scrambled to find alternatives, turning again to South Korea, which offered its Doosan DV-27K engine and S&T Dynamics transmission. These were eventually integrated into later Altay prototypes, but the delay cost years and stalled the momentum of the program. At the same time, Turkey launched an ambitious effort to develop its own domestic engine through Tmosan, though this remains in testing stages. The experience underscored how difficult it is for even advanced defense industries to break free from reliance on specialized foreign suppliers, especially in something as complex as armored vehicle propulsion. Despite these challenges, the Altay emerged as a highly capable platform on paper and in trials. Weighing around 65 tons, it is designed to balance mobility with protection, equipped with modular composite armor and planned integration of active protection systems capable of intercepting anti-tank guided missiles, a necessity given the widespread use of such weapons in conflicts Turkey monitors closely, from Syria to Ukraine. Its primary weapon, a 120mm smoothbore gun, can fire a range of NATO standard ammunition, while advanced fire control systems provide hunter-killer capability, allowing the commander and gunner to independently identify and engage targets. Secondary weapons, including a coaxial 7.62mm machine gun and a remote-controlled 12.7mm station, enhance its versatility. Perhaps most importantly for modern battlefields, the Altay is designed as a digital node, integrating with Turkey's growing suite of command, control, communications, and intelligence systems. This networking ability reflects the future of combined arms warfare, where tanks no longer operate as isolated platforms but as interconnected assets alongside drones, artillery, and air support. Comparisons to other modern tanks are inevitable, and analysts often measure the Altay against platforms like the German Leopard 2A7, the American M1A2 Abrams, the Russian T-90M, and of course its South Korean cousin, the K2. In terms of firepower and armor, the Altay broadly matches NATO's most modern MBTs, while its emphasis on digital integration and modular design gives it adaptability for upgrades. Against the Abrams, the Altay may lack decades of battlefield experience but offers lighter weight and mobility better suited to Turkey's diverse geography. Compared to Russia's T-90M, the Altay is expected to outperform in crew survivability and electronics, though it will face the challenge of proving itself under fire. Its closest relative, the K2, remains more advanced in some respects, particularly in engine maturity, but the Altay benefits from Turkish-designed armor, electronics and systems integration, making it uniquely tailored for Ankar's requirements. The strategic significance of the Altay goes far beyond its specifications. For Ankara, the tank represents the culmination of a broader effort to transform Turkey into a self-sufficient defense producer. In the past decade, Turkey has made global headlines with its Bayraktar TB2 drones, exported to dozens of countries and combat-tested from Libya to Ukraine. Naval projects such as the TCG Anadolu amphibious assault ship, and missile programs like Hisar and Cyper, further illustrate this trajectory. The Altay's entry into service now extends this industrial independence into the realm of heavy armor, traditionally dominated by a handful of established producers in the United States, Germany, Russia, and South Korea. This not only reduces Turkey's reliance on imports but also positions it as a potential exporter in its own right. Nations such as Qatar and Pakistan have already expressed interest in the Altay, and Turkish officials have made no secret of their ambition to market it internationally once domestic production stabilizes. For the Turkish armed forces, the arrival of the Altay could not be more timely. Its aging tank fleet, though numerically large, is increasingly obsolete in a world where anti-tank weapons, drone warfare and precision artillery dominate battlefields. The Altay, with its advanced armor and networking capabilities, offers not just a replacement but a qualitative leap, providing the land forces with a platform that can deter adversaries and operate effectively across a wide spectrum of conflict scenarios. Analysts expect the first deployments to focus on critical regions such as the Syrian frontier, where Turkish forces have faced anti-tank threats, and the Caucasus, where Turkey remains engaged diplomatically and militarily in support of Azerbaijan. Yet the Altay is more than a weapon of war, it is a symbol of national persistence. Its 17-year journey, fraught with delays and embargoes, reflects Turkey's determination to push through obstacles in pursuit of defense autonomy. The setbacks that once raised doubts about the program have instead reinforced its significance, proving that Turkey is willing to absorb costs and delays to achieve strategic independence. For Turkish leaders, the Altay's rollout is not simply the deployment of a tank, it is the fulfillment of a vision, a demonstration to both domestic audiences and international partners that Turkey has entered the elite league of nations capable of producing advanced, heavy armored systems. As the first Altay tanks roll off the production line and prepare for service, they embody both the challenges and the promise of Turkey's defense future. They are the culmination of years of technical struggle, political maneuvering, and industrial innovation, and they represent a new chapter in the story of Turkish military modernization. For Turkey's soldiers, the Altay will be a powerful new tool. For its defense industry, it is a milestone achievement. And for its government, it is a symbol of resilience, independence, and ambition. A steel giant born of persistence, finally ready to take its place on the battlefield after nearly 2 decades in the making.